On May 18, 1944, the entire Crimean Tatar people were forcibly deported from Crimea. In a few days, in a savage barbaric action organized by the Kremlin monster named Stalin, the peninsula was depopulated. The people who were born, formed and lived on their land for centuries were uprooted. Houses that had kept the memory, spirit and warmth of their owners were orphaned. Household animals and pets had also lost their families just in one day. However, the Crimean Tatar houses were not empty for long. No sooner had their families left them than NKVD soldiers broke in and looted them. Looting was a very popular activity in Crimea during these months. The soldiers went so far as to send trophy items home by mail after looting houses. Ordinary soldiers, who were limited to dishes, bedding, and clothing, were replaced by secretaries of the RCCPSU-B, heads of executive committees, city committees, district executive committees, state and collective farms, heads of financial departments, lawyers, and even the director of the Yalta Theater. This intelligent stratum managed to appropriate the more important belongings of the displaced people: musical instruments, gramophones with records, expensive dishes, books, carpets, blankets, expensive jewelry, sewing machines, fashionable nickel-plated beds, desks, good quality furniture, and more. Who knows, maybe even today Crimean Tatar items still adorn the homes of those looters who participated in deportation operation. On the first day after the deportation of the Crimean Tatars, despite the ban on approaching the houses of the specially displaced persons, the recent neighbors reached out. Some with regret, because there were animals in the barns that needed care, and some with a sense of easy profit. After the recent occupation, there was no food supply to speak of, but the household items were of good quality. First, they took the cattle that had not yet been taken to collective farms, and then they got to the houses. Again, some people took personal expensive items and kept them for years, hoping to pass them on to their owners, while others did the opposite. Today, we will never know how many people actually found themselves preying on someone else's sorrow. By the fall of 1944, the property of the indigenous people was also enough for immigrants from the Krasnodar and Stavropol territories, Voronezh, Kursk, Oryol, Tambov, Rostov, Smolensk, and other regions. They were brought to Crimea and settled in the empty houses of Crimean Tatars. It was they and their descendants who, 50 years later, were the most ardent opponents of the return of Crimean Tatars to their historic homeland. They believed that the Crimean Tatars would demand the return of their homes, and they did not want to part with someone else's property.